Hey, you guys. Welcome to Days with Jen. I decided to do the new video today. It's been kind of a busy week for me with work, and so I figured, well, I'll do it today and rest tomorrow. So this week we are doing a new video, a new stitch I just learned last week, and it's actually a real easy stitch using single and half double crochet. So today all you need is your yarn, your crochet hook, and then your scissors to cut off your excess yarn, and a sewing needle or yarn needle to sew in your ends at the end. Please like and subscribe so that way you know every time I upload a new video with those bell notifications. I apologize if everything's not working quite right yet. I am still working on it. So please be patient because I'm still learning how to do this stuff on here. So let's get started with today's project. And I've got a friend texting me at the moment, so I gotta let him know I am live now on YouTube. So hopefully you also have your drink. I have my Monster, and my ex-husband's a sweetheart grabbed me some breakfast this morning. So today I am going to be using this pumpkin orange. And you know, a lot of my projects I do use acrylic yarn. And for this project, you can use acrylic. I am using a size H crochet hook for this project. And I'm doing another one that's a lap blanket that I'm actually using the size G hook. My yarn needle, and today I'm actually using these scissors. They have a little bit more of a pointed end because the scissors I normally use aren't very good. They're getting tough to cut with. So I'm going to move my phone out of the way and move this out of the way. That's another sandwich from breakfast. And sorry if I sound kind of hoarse. The weather's been really wet now the last couple of days, windy here. So the change always messes with my voice and my throat. And then I always dry up when I'm talking. So for this project, we're going to go ahead and do our slip knot as we usually do. And with this project, some projects you need an odd number, some you need an even number. This you need your odd number. So we're going to go ahead, and if you don't remember how to do the chain, the single, or the half double crochet, you could look back at my videos when I was teaching those, learn how to do it and how to do the slip knot. And so for this project, you are going to do a slip knot. So we're going to go ahead, I'm just doing a small patch here. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So for this first row, we are going to go into each loop and we are going to do a single crochet. So we are going to go into this first loop right here, not the one on our hook and not this one right here, but this one next to it. And we're going to yarn over, pull up a loop. So we have 2 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over and pull through both loops. And that's how we do a single crochet. Again, we're going to go through this loop, yarn over, pull up a loop. So we have 2 more on our hook. We're going to yarn over, pull through 2. And we're going to do that all the way down. We're going to go through this loop. The next one, yarn over, pull through, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through both. So we're back to 1. And we're going to do those single crochets all the way back. And I know some of these you're probably going, why is it so loose? Well, I'm doing this one a little bit loose so you can actually see the stitches better. And yes, I'm hoping to get a better setup, but it's going to take time between work and money paying off bills. It's going to take time to. So, let's see, is that the end of it? Yep. So that's what we should look like. We should have single crochets in each one. Now, there's some that show how to do them through this way, but I always rather chain 2 and turn my work. So the first row we did the half double crochet or the single crochet. Now we're going to do the half double crochet back. So we're going to go ahead and yarn over, and we're going to look for that first loop right here. We're going to go through that loop, yarn over, we're going to pull through. We have 3 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over and pull through all 3. That's our first half double crochet. Then we're going to yarn over, go through the loop, yarn over, pull through. So we have 3 loops on our hook again. Yarn over and pull through all 3. And we're going to do these half double crochets till we get to the end. So we're going to yarn over, go through the hole there, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. So we're going to do our half double crochet all the way till we get to the end. You see there how it's actually starting to come, and it's okay if it curls a little bit, depends on how tight. You can always just kind of, every time you do a half double, and if it starts curling, just kind of flatten it out a little bit and you'll be okay. Now the last one can be a little tricky. So when you yarn over, you're going to look for this loop here at the bottom, or here at the very, very end. And this one here. So you want to kind of go in, if I can get it. So it's going through all of that. There we go, got it. We're going to yarn over, pull through. And it can be a little tight, yarn over, pull through. And that is the last half double crochet. So then we're going to yarn over and do our chain. So chain 2. And we're going to turn our work. Now we're going to start the project. So normally we would go through either, you see the V's on top. So normally we would go and go through both holes here, or we would do the back loops right here. So either here or here to do the back loops. But today we're going to change it up a little bit. And get my crochet needle in there, crochet hook. So instead of going through the Y there, we're going to go up underneath. So we're going to do half, the rest of this is half double crochet. So it actually makes a really nice pattern. So instead of going through here, we're going to go just underneath right here, yarn over, pull up a loop. We have 3 there. We're going to yarn over and go through that. But we're not going to the next one yet. Oops, I did mess up a little bit. I apologize. We're going to skip that first one. Sorry, I apologize. We're going to skip this one here. We're going to go to the next one and go through underneath all 3 there. And we're going to do the half double. But then we're going to do a second half double in that same hole. So we're going to yarn over, go through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through. So we're going to have 2. So it makes almost like a V stitch there. So we're going to skip this one right here, and we're going to go to this one. So we're going to yarn over and do our 2 half double crochets in that hole. So we're going to skip this one. We're going to go to the next. Oh, there we go. I had to get underneath there. It didn't want me to. And we're going to do 2 half double crochets in that one. So then we're going to go to we're going to skip this one. And we're going here. We're going to go underneath. We're going to do 2 half double crochets in that one. So we're coming towards the end here. We're going to skip this one. And you've got to kind of sometimes pull this out a little bit so you can see where you're going. Go underneath, yarn over, pull up a loop, and go through all 3. So you're going to do 2 half double crochets there at the end. And then you've got this bar right here. So you're going to yarn over, and try to get towards the top. And it's going to be a little tight at first. Get your hook in there. And you're going to do a very half double crochet there and chain 2. So this is what it already looks like. So we're going to yarn over. So now with each of those V's that we made right here, we've got 1 half double, 2 half doubles, so it makes kind of a V. So our next step is we're going to go in between those half double crochets right here in the middle. And we're going to do 2 half doubles in between each of those stitches that we just did on our first row. And the nice thing is this is just a repeat on it. It's a nice little project you can use for scarves if you want to make a blanket out of this. So I'm going to yarn over. I'm going to look for in between those two, and I'm going to go in between the V stitches there, kind of in the middle, and I'm going to do 2 half double crochets in that. And I'm going to skip that hole. I'm going to go to where I did the next V, pull it apart a little bit so I can see it. I'm going to go through it, and I'm going to do 2 more half double crochets. Then I'm going to look for the next one and do 2 more half double crochets. And you're just going to repeat this pattern until you get where you want to be for this. So I'm going to work up quickly a couple of rows here so you can actually get a better idea of the pattern. And because you've got your V stitch right here, you still are going to go over here and you're going to look for where the top corner is, and you're going to go in. Let's see here. Yeah, there we go. Sometimes it's a little hard to see. And I'm going to do a half double crochet at the end, chain 2, turn my work. And you're going to do that all the way across. So for each V, you're going to go in between that stitch, the 2 half double crochets, and do 2 more. So you're just going to stay doing 2 half double crochets in each of those spots. Yes, my orange is not, I need to wind up my orange. It would probably make it easier for me to do what I'm working on. And I'm one that I don't really know how to read a pattern. I learn by sight. Some people learn by patterns. I learn by sight. But you want to try to keep your stitches squared up as much as you can. Sometimes that's a little difficult, but let's see here. So that is what you want your stitches to look like. So you got this neat little pattern going. And yeah, you have to stretch it a little bit, but not a big deal. As you're going in between each spot. I know I had it there. It was just trying to find the right one. And sometimes if the yarn likes to split on you, don't worry about it. Pull out the stitch, fix your yarn, and just redo the stitch. Mine just split on me. There we go, got it. And I'm going to go into the next one. So we're going to go ahead and do our half double, and then we're going to chain 2. So to finish this project off, I'm going to go through and do a half double crochet in each of these stitches across, so it'll look kind of like this that we started with. So I'm going to do half double crochet in each of those stitches. So instead of going through the V, we're just going across the top now, in underneath both loops to do the half double. So we're going to go ahead and flip this now, and I'm going to end it with a single crochet across the top. So each of the half double I did on top, we're just going to do single now across. So finishes it off with a little bit of a border at the other end of your project. And yes, I know, once you learn how to crochet, you can crochet pretty fast. And there we go. So then we're going to go ahead and, as we always with our stitches, we always do that. We always pull through the yarn, cut our excess yarn. So that is what your project should look like. Whoops, doesn't want to stay. So you'll have these little V's in between, and you can take it and block it, but you'll have this really neat pattern of V's going up. And like I said, you can use this for making a scarf. You can use it for making, even if you're using cotton, you could use it to make a dishcloth. Just different ideas with it. You never know what might come out of certain patterns. You could use it even for making bookmarkers. So I'm going to go in like I always do, but with these, I usually kind of weave them in and out a little bit through that first row and kind of behind or in between my stitches. So that way you can't really see in between my stitches. There, it's pretty locked in. Take my scissors, cut that end off. Let's get the other side. And like I said, it's always good to have different size yarn needles on hand, especially depending on projects, whether it's the thinner thread or it's doing this kind of thread, a worsted weight for yarn, or even if it's just doing chunky yarn. You always want to have different size yarn needles to be able to stitch in your yarn. I don't know why it's wanting to be weird on me today. I'm just looking here to see the best spot. So this one here, I can kind of do underneath and through the top. So there we go. And even though I pull my yarn a little taut at times, once I cut it though, I always stretch it out. And there is your project for it's almost like a V stitch, but it gives it a really nice dense feel to it. It is warm and it can work just about for anything. This pattern can. And ladies, you probably could make a skirt out of this, but you'd have to put some kind of material underneath. So, and I am getting low on my yarn stash right now. That's on for certain projects. So that's why I'm using my orange today. Alrighty, so I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Like always, you can rewind any of my videos to rewatch. And even if you can't fully see what I'm doing, You hear me talking about it, what I'm doing, what stitches I'm doing, and how I'm doing it. So I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. Have a good week. Bye for now.